So I'm a used car dealer that sells cars that are $5,000 and under, and most of the cars that I have out here right now are in this $3,500 price point, $3,000, $4,000 range. But even I right now am having a harder time actually moving vehicles. Over the last couple weeks, we've been a lot slower. Now, if I would have had these same vehicles about a month and a half ago, well, we would have sold them instantly. So what has happened over the last couple months is we hit tax time, we hit spring selling season, and for us, a car dealer, that's our Christmas. That's the best time of year. And we were able to move through, we had 150 something cars, and we were able to move through just about all of those cars. We got down to a situation where we only had 7 for sale. And if you see that line up there, we still only have maybe 25, maybe 30 cars for sale. We were able to buy some of these over the last week and a half or so. So we're trying to load back up to where we have an average of about maybe 70, 80 cars that I would like to have on my lot during a regular time of year. But right now what we're experiencing is that, okay, well, we have cars for sale, and we have them at those price points that we typically sell really quickly, but our cars are still sitting a little bit longer than what we're actually used to. And I'm getting kind of concerned because on paper, as things get tighter, we're hearing these words, recession, depression, depending on what your beliefs are, what data you're looking at. I hear a lot of people say, well, we've already been in a recession for years, Brandon. And I really think that, okay, for some classes of the economy, that's probably true, where, okay, this recession on paper has actually been a thing for some of the lower income earners across the market, because, okay, prices have gone up, but wages really haven't gone up enough to meet what really the prices have gone up for. And what we're going to see in the market is that people who are high income earners, even though prices have gone up, it really hasn't affected them all that much. And what I want to talk about today is really how I could see our business getting affected by maybe a coming recession. Maybe recessions are already here. Maybe times are getting tougher for a lot of the consumers. And I actually broke it down right here where you can see, okay, on paper, maybe a recession could be a good thing for my business. But if we're seeing that people are getting tighter with their money, I would expect that maybe some of these mid-tier buyers would actually tear down and come in and buy more of our cars. But that's not what we're seeing yet, and it's not a factor of us not having cars. We've actually got some cars now. It's not a factor of our prices going up. Our prices haven't gone up. From what I'm seeing, how we're pricing our cars right now, they're actually lower right now than they were during tax time. Now, people had more money during tax time that buy our cars, but even before tax time, when we were a little bit busier than we are right now, our prices were still higher. We're able to get better prices at auction right now than we were 6 months ago. But we're still seeing that consumers are tighter with their money right now than they were 6 months ago. So here's what I would break it up as far as the level of buyers. I would say your mid-tier range, which is, I would guess, anywhere between $5,000, $15,000 buyer is probably the main piece of the pie for the consumer. You have your upper-level buyers this is going to be $15,000, $20,000 up, and I'm talking about used cars here. And then your lower tier, this is the piece of pie that I get to eat out of because we have $5,000 and under. That's the type of cars that we actually keep on our lot. That's the range that we like to stay in. We don't finance. I don't like debt myself, so we want people to buy their cars outright. We sell at $5,000 and under price point. So as times get tougher, what you hear a lot in the stock market, this is not the exact same thing that you're going to see in the car market, but it could be pretty close, is that you hear a lot about people tearing down, trading down. So instead of, when times get tough, instead of shopping at Target, they'll shop at Walmart. So you could have a situation on paper where, okay, these mid-tier buyers, that piece of pie, if you see from over here what normally happens, this actually shrinks just a little bit. And what they do is they're trading down to this lower tier of car, which should mean that it's bringing more consumers into my price range. So that could have two different effects. Well, it could bring me more demand for my products, but if it's also showing a higher level of demand across a lot of the market, then other car dealers could also try to start dipping into the type of range that I am. So it could have a weird effect. If car dealers get slower, then maybe I still have the amount of inventory I need to be able to satisfy the higher level of demand, but it could also mean that just the lower tiers of cars get more expensive. That's one thing that I'm getting worried about. If we go into this scenario where the recession word pops up, it actually becomes a thing, people actually hold on to money, I think the chart looks more like this. And your upper tier of buyer, I think, does shrink just a little bit, but I think not that much, because I still think you're going to have people that have money, that are wealthy. They're still going to spend money, but the slice of pie that really moves the market is this mid-tier right here. When the middle class, when they stop spending money, that's where most of things like cars, stuff that I sell, even the tier up, that's where most of your velocity of money is, because this is where a majority of the population is. And if they start trading down, well, then you have the situation where on paper could be great for my business, but it's going to be a problem potentially for inventory. But there's another situation, and I know that you've probably heard this word being floating around a lot too, is depression. Depression is something where it doesn't matter what class people are in, everyone just stops spending money. There's lots of fear, lots of uncertainty in the market. And if that happens, then none of this even matters, because then everyone just stops spending money. And even a business like mine, where I'm selling these $5,000 and under cars, and maybe a lot of dealerships go out of business, and it gets to be a situation where, I'm even able to buy cars a lot cheaper, because all these other car dealers that aren't moving money, well, they don't show up at an auction, so I'm able to go in and buy cars for really, really cheap. Even then, it's very difficult for me to be able to move cars when just no one's spending money. And now this is my worry of what I'm seeing right now in the car market, even in the face of prices that are supposed to be going up, even in the face of, we see some wholesale data where there's a little bit of an increase. I know I've seen a lot from other YouTube videos showing that, prices are spiking, used car prices are going up, but when I pull up the actual chart, the Manheim Index, you can see lots of beta, lots of variance that come from a couple years ago or whatever, all across the market. But when you look at the chart for right now, this massive increase of prices that I was talking about, it's tiny, it's a little bump. And from what my estimation is that, this little bump is from a couple things. One is from FOMO, from people wanting to buy cars before they think prices are going to go up from tariffs. And two, tax time. Like, tax time gives a little bump every year. And if you actually look at the chart, and I'll throw it up, you can see that there's a tiny increase. And this is what is a big aggravation for me and a lot of other creators that are doing. I mean, they're friends of mine. I disagree with them, and this is completely open. We talked about it, but I think that a lot of people are missing the mark here. Where yes, we're going to have manufacturers, we're going to have car dealers that try to increase their prices to take advantage of the situation right now. We're hearing, when I hear car negotiations, I'm hearing salespeople say, you better buy a car right now, because a month from now it's going to be 20%, it's going to be 25% higher because of all these tariffs coming in the system. It's just not the case. And I really feel like, and it's my opinion, that as soon as these manufacturers try to raise their prices, you have Ford that just released to its dealers, if tariffs are still a thing in a month, we're raising our prices. This is the memo that they sent out to dealers. Well, they can try to do that, but on a $70,000 F-150 right now, they're still having trouble selling them. Yes, we just got a big bump in sales over the last month, but it's because of the FOMO, and it's because of people wanting to get ahead of these price increases that may or may not happen. And then you also have the element of tax time. That's all it is. That's all this increase in sales are. We still have tons and tons and tons of F-150s that are 2024s sitting on lots, rotting away. There's a dealership I go to that's not too far from here, massive volume dealer. They're a good dealer. They don't charge any add-ons, anything like that. Great dealership, in my mind. Move a lot of trucks. It's like 40 to 50% of the trucks that they have on their lot are 2024s. This is a problem. Another thing too is if these dealerships were doing great, if they're selling tons of vehicles, if they were if these manufacturers were doing as good as what I see some of you say in the comments, why would they be offering employee discounting? Why would they be trying to spending tons of money on marketing? Stellantis, Ford, they just did this. We know that all this employee discount is just, I mean, it's just smoke and mirrors. But they've spent money. To do this, to try to get people into vehicles. And if everything was great, and if they were moving tons and tons of metal, and if they didn't have a problem on their dealer lots with their inventory, they wouldn't have to do any of this. And they're doing it. So I think that the car market is going to be in a place where it's going to be struggling. I think even my car dealership, $5,000 and under cars, I think we're going to be able to get inventory because there's a lot of other dealers right now that had no tax time. They told me this. I say, how's your tax time? Brandon, what tax time? Hearing that a lot. So I think there's going to be opportunity for me to be able to go in and buy a lot of cars. But my worry is on the other side of that, there's not going to be any buyers, even for my range. This is something I'm very interested to see how it plays out. Because we've already had some cars out here for a week and a half, and we traditionally we average about 3 cars a day, and lately we've been selling on average about 1 a day. And we don't have as much inventory as we typically do, so I can maybe that's the situation for my car dealership, but I do know for the economy that the level of consumer that I sell to, if things start turning bad, they're the first ones to get hit, and that's what I'm seeing right now. So subscribe, keep with me. I'm going to let you know what I'm dealing with at my dealership. I mean, this video, I shot it today. I'm releasing it today. You're going to see it today. So from on this channel, it's a new channel, subscribe to it. For the foreseeable future, I'm going to be giving you daily, I'm not going to actually release a video every day, but when I do release a video, it's going to be stuff that I'm shooting in real time. You're going to see it the morning that I actually shoot it. This is what I'm experiencing right now. I'm experiencing slow sales at a car lot that's $5,000 and under. You can't find cars that are as cheap as the cars that I actually sell, and even my consumer at my price point is having a hard time right now.